Hey guys, it's Chris here with Offroad Farm, and in today's video we're going to install this high clearance engine crossmember and these new competition style motor mounts, all from Offroad Design. So the first thing we need to do is install this new engine crossmember and engine mounts from Offroad Design. We need to get these old engine mounts out of here. It's a 9/16 on both sides. Alright, there's the old engine mounts out. Now we have to unbolt the cross member here and on this other side. And then we got some rivets we got to cut out. Alright, so these are the two bolts we need to take out next. They are 5/8 on this side, 11/16 on the nut. This one back here, it can't quite get on. Alright, so here's this other side. You have to get to it from the bottom. Same size as 5/8 and 11/16. Now we just need to knock out these rivets. There's two on each side. We can reach 3 of them from up top or inside the frame, and then the last one we're going to have to do from the bottom. Just like always, if you're using a air hammer or air chisel, wear some eye protection and also some hearing protection. Now that we've got all of our rivets knocked off, we used a air punched them out. And now we can pull this cross member out. There we go. There's the old cross member out. The last thing we need to remove is this bolt right here. The nut that's on the bottom side is going to be in the way of the new cross member. Alright, now we can put the new cross member in here and mock it up for the holes we have to drill. Alright, so this is the new cross member. The straight bar, that actually goes towards the front. The one that has this little curve in it, that goes towards the back. So if you look at it, how it would go into the truck, same thing. This is up right here. This is where it's going to bolt to the engine mounts. And also here, and then these will go underneath the frame rail and bolt to there. So the nuts we just took off are for these farthest back holes, and then we're going to have to drill some of the others. So let's put it in there. Alright, so here's the new engine cross member. This goes in and then slides forward. Let's see, those two bolts are lining up. Alright, so I've got this new engine cross member. Got 3 bolts in it, 2 on the passenger side, 1 on this driver's side. Now I'm just going to take a 7/16 transfer punch here, and I'm going to mark my holes. Alright, now we're just going to do the same thing. We have to drill 2 holes on the driver's side and 1 on the passenger side. So I'm just going to slide over here, and we'll do the same thing over here. Alright, now that we got our holes marked, we'll take the cross member back out and we'll go ahead and drill out our holes. Alright, so now we're going to drill out these holes. I'm going to start with a pilot hole. Alright, so we've got all of our holes drilled, except for this front one. And I noticed whenever I marked it, there's an old small hole already in the frame. So if we try to drill that out, it's going to cause our drill bit to jump over and our hole's not going to be right. So here is how we're going to fix that. So we just took our cross member, bolted it in place. Now we'll have a guide to drill out that hole. There we go. Now our hole is in the right spot and we can finish installing this. Alright, so we almost got the cross member installed. We've got all the holes drilled on the bottom flange of the frame. We've got new 7/16 grade 8 hardware installed with top locking nuts. Now we just need to get these bolts that bolt to the brackets that hold the motor mounts. Now, I couldn't get these to line up. It says on the instructions that you may have to torque all of these bottom bolts down before you can get these in, but I still couldn't get these to line up. And I think that's probably because I don't have the weight of a motor sitting on these, pushing these down. So let me show you how I got them to line up. I don't want to drill them out, because if I drill them out and then I put the weight of a motor on here, it could give it some room to move around. So let me show you how I got them to line up. Pretty easy. All we're going to do, we're just going to loosen these top two bolts that hold this bracket that the motor mount sits on, and it should give us just enough room to where we can flex that down and get those bolts in. Now these bolts are kind of hard to reach. These bolts over here on the passenger side, they're a little bit harder to get on because you have some of these transmission lines running, but you should be able to get on it. We don't need to take it all the way out, we just need to loosen it up. Now this back one here can kind of be a pain to get on. You might have to get underneath there to get your ratchet on and then hold it on there so you can then loosen it. That should be more than enough to get a little wiggle in that. Alright, now that we've got that loosened up, should be able to stick just a punch in there, flex it just a little bit. Now we got both of those bolts in there, so now we can tighten those up. Alright, now that we've got our new 3/8 bolts in, before we tighten those down, we're going to go ahead and we're going to re-tighten these up. Now we can snug up these 3/8 bolts. Alright, so that's the new engine cross member in. Now let's put on these new Offroad Design competition style engine mounts. The last part of these motor mounts is to install these new bushings. If you have to tap these in, mine are sliding in pretty easy. If you have to tap those in, make sure you use either a block of wood or a dead blow or a mallet instead of a hard face hammer, just because you don't want to nick up those sleeves. And now if you had a motor, you would be ready to go ahead and mount it. Keep in mind you might need to loosen these up because there is some slack in this adjustment, and tighten everything down once you get your motor put on. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button down below.